Hello everyone, welcome back to Foot Forecast. In today's video, I'm going to be going for my Ipswich player ratings for this season. Ipswich have obviously had a great season going up automatically, so I thought in today's video I'd be go through and judge which players have had the best season. And how this is going to work is that obviously you've got A tier, which is the best tier, and you've got E tier, which is the worst. Are basically going to be players that haven't really impacted Ipswich this season at all. But anyway, let's get into this. And starting off with Alex Palmer. Alex Palmer started as Ipswich's number one, but he's barely played any games this season. I think only reaching just over double figures. And the reason why is because he was dropped and Christian Walton took over and did a much better job. I'm going to put Palmer into D. I've been disappointed with him this season. I think most people expected more from Alex Palmer. Then I've got Christian Walton. I'm going to put Walton into B. Since he's coming for Palmer, he's done a very good job as Ipswich's number one. Then I've got David Button, just didn't play at all this season, as you'd expect from a third choice. I'm just going to put him into E. Then I'm on to the right backs, and starting off with Furlong. I'm going to put Furlong into B. I've been impressed with him this season. Just a solid right back, week in, week out. He's done exactly what you want from him, so I think B is fair. Then I'm on to Ashley Young, just hasn't featured at all. I'm going to put Ashley Young into E, and he's recently announced he is going to be retiring. What a footballer Ashley Young has been for so long. Then I'm on to Ben Johnson, barely featured at all for Ipswich this season. You could put him in E, but I'm going to put him in D because I think he has featured a bit for Ipswich off the bench this season. So then I'm on to the centre halves, and starting off with Kipre. I'm going to put Kipre into B. I think he's had a good season for Ipswich on loan from France, and that deal is now permanent, and he's just been a pretty consistent performer for them. Then I'm on to Greaves. I'm going to put Greaves into C. The main partnership for Ipswich this season has been O'Shea and Kipre, and overall Greaves has sort of struggled to get into that starting 11. Recently he has played more games, but not enough to move him into A. Then I'm on to Darren O'Shea. I'm going to put O'Shea into B. Probably one of Ipswich's most consistent performances week in, week out this season, and he is the captain. I think B is fair for Darren O'Shea. Then we're on to the left back, and it's Leif Davies. I'm going to put Leif Davies into B. I think overall he's had a good season for Ipswich. I actually expected slightly better from Leif Davies because of how good of a player we know he is. But he's still had a good season, and I think the reason why people may put him lower is more because of the standard that Davies sets. Then I'm on to Ipswich's player of the season, in my opinion, and that is Matasiwa. He's been a great signing. He should go straight into A. Been absolutely crucial for Ipswich. Without him, they definitely don't go up. And he's been so important for Ipswich in that deeper midfield role. Then I'm on to Jack Taylor. Jack Taylor's had a good season for Ipswich, a consistent performer week in, week out. I want to put Jack Taylor into B. I think he's similar to an O'Shea or a Furlong. Just consistently gives you sort of a 7 out of 10 every week. Then I'm on to Dan Neil. I'm going to put Dan Neil into C. He signed that joined in January on loan from Sunderland, and he's been alright, nothing special. I think C is fair. He's had a decent impact on the side. Then I'm on to Kayuste. I've been so disappointed with Kayuste. I expected so much more from him. I thought he was very good for Ipswich in the Premier League in a struggling side, but in the Championship he struggled, and he struggled to even play many minutes. I'm going to put Kayuste into D. Then I'm on to Marcelo Nunes, a player that's been good for Ipswich this season, week in, week out, and a consistent performer for them. I'm going to put Marcelo Nunes into B. That was a good signing. Then I'm on to Mehmeti. I would say this is similar to Dan Neil, where he's just been a decent performer for Ipswich since coming in January, and he's provided some decent depth off the bench. I'm going to put Mehmeti into C. He's had a couple of really good games, but overall he's just been a steady performer. Then I'm on to the wingers, and starting off with Wes Burns. I'm going to put Wes Burns into D. Overall, he hasn't had a huge impact on Ipswich this season. He's not come up with a huge amount of goals and assists, and I think D is fair for Wes Burns. The right wing position has been a weak position for Ipswich this season. Then I'm on to Casey McAteer. I'm also going to put Casey McAteer into D. He sort of came alive in the last couple of months, so maybe you could push him into C. But overall, he's had a pretty poor season for Ipswich. I think people expected more, and I've been disappointed with his impact on this side. I think Ipswich would have expected a lot more. Then I'm on to another winger where Ipswich would have expected more from, and that is Egley. He is a young player, but he was brought in the summer for a record championship fee. And you just expect more when a player comes in with a record fee. I think for Egley, he should also go in D. I think that's been one of Ipswich's problems this season, is the fact that Wes Burns, Casey McAteer and Egley just haven't performed at all for Ipswich really on that right wing. In fairness to Wes Burns wasn't expected to be a consistent performer week in, week out, but Casey McAteer and Egley have been disappointing. I think that's fair to say. But despite me saying it's been a problem, has it really been a problem because Ipswich have gone up automatically? Then I'm on to Jaden Philogene. Philogene's a joke at this level, but I'd still put Philogene in to B. He had a couple of injury problems this season, did Philogene, and he also consistently didn't really start week in, week out on that left wing, and I actually expected maybe a bit more from him. Maybe you could argue that that's maybe because of the high expectations I had for him, but I think B is fair for Philogene. I think he was just a good performer for Ipswich this season. Then I'm on to Jack Clark. I'm going to put Jack Clark into A. I've been really impressed with Jack Clark this season for Ipswich, a player that's mainly come off the bench, but when he's come off the bench, he's given that impact that Ipswich have been after. And he's also registered Ipswich's most goal contributions this season. Now, could you say Clark should go into B because he hasn't been a consistent starter? I wouldn't do this, and that's because he's been going up against a winger like Jaden Philogene. And when Philogene's available, you probably start him over Jack Clark. But in saying this, I actually think Jack Clark's been better than Philogene, despite Philogene mainly being the starter for Ipswich this season. Then I'm on to the strikers, and the first striker I've got is Azon. I've been disappointed with Azon. I'm going to put him into D. He hasn't been good enough for Ipswich this season. And that's one of the other positions where Ipswich have struggled, is the number 9. And then I've got the other number 9 option, and it is Hurst. I'm going to put Hurst into C. Overall, I think he's just had a decent season in the Championship. He's registered 11 goals, so he's been all right, but it has still been a bit of a problematic position for them at points. But he did step up late on in the season for Ipswich. So then finally, I've got the manager, and it is Kieran McKenna. I'm going to put McKenna into B. I don't think he's really done anything special for Ipswich this season. I think he's just sort of met expectations. But at the end of the day, if a manager takes you up, he has to go into at least B. So that is where McKenna is going. So that is the end of the video, where I've gone through my Ipswich player ratings as well as the manager Kieran McKenna's rating. Please let me know your thoughts on this. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? And if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as liking the video.